Okay, good morning. So this is my first time ever recording. So good morning from Vancouver, BC, where it's very rainy on Sunday, December 23rd. No, 22nd today. I guess I'm excited for Christmas. So I'm all set here to do the what I call waterfall pour down these 4 canvases that have been glued together. I just glued them with my hot glue gun. So I'm going to put a little bit of white. This is just, all my paints are Artist Loft brand, and my pouring medium is just Elmer's white glue, the all, what do you call it, glue all, mixed with water, and I do a 60-40 glue to water mixture, and then I do a 1-to-1 paint to pouring medium mixture. So I'm just gonna put white all over these canvases to help the paint flow better once I start adding the colors. All right, I'm going to spread that around a little bit. I'm not going to worry about the back side there that you can see up where I'm working right now. The paint will flow down there a bit as I pour, I'm sure. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to be sort of pouring the same way I did when I did my Starbucks cup, which is this gorgeous, lovely cup right here that I poured. I'm finally using, so that now that it's been cured and what do you call it, sealed. So let me just finish spreading this around. Try not to be too slow at it. My colors today I'm choosing, I think I mentioned in my original post that the canvases came from my coworker Secret Santa. We do that every year at my work, but we're just a small office, so it doesn't really end up being too much of a secret as to who had each person as their gift. So I know who my coworker was who gave these to me. She's awesome. We get along really great, a lovely young lady. And so I asked her yesterday at work what her favorite colors were so that I could maybe, she didn't come up with the idea of this waterfall thing, but she bought me the canvases, and somehow, because they were all these different sizes, that it made me think to do this, to try this idea. So yeah, so I asked her what her favorite colors were, and she said she liked pinks and greens and teal. So I'm choosing 3 colors that are in that category. I didn't necessarily have exactly what she wanted, but that's okay. So I'm going to be using the light magenta in the Artist Loft. I'm going to be using the aqua green, and I'm going to be using the turquoise. So these are bottles I just flashed there are excuse me, already mixed 1-to-1 paint to pouring medium, like I mentioned. And then of course I have my white, Artist Loft white, which is also mixed 1-to-1 pouring medium. I do have my colors here in cups. I think you can see those. For what I'm planning on doing, normally I wouldn't bother putting them in cups. I would just squirt straight from the bottles. But I do want to put some silicone oil, because I'd like to see if I can get some cells when I do this. So that's why I put them in the cups, so that I can add some silicone oil in just a minute. So sorry, let me just focus on finishing this. Almost done. So I just want to have a little bit of coverage there so that the paint will flow well once it starts to flow. Right now I've got the canvases flat because I don't want this to be running off. But once I'm ready to pour, I will prop them up on these little cups. I'm not sure if you can see them in the frame or not, but I'll pour them up on these little cups that I use for underneath things all the time, and we will go from there. So let me just finish this. Almost done. Could have done this ahead of time, but I just thought I'd let everybody see my whole process. I'm just going to move these out of my way because I think I'm going to end up knocking them over if I'm not careful. I thought about doing this the way I did remember now that I've seen a couple videos on YouTube where somebody had stacked canvases, but as far as I know, from what I remember of seeing those ones, they stacked things so that they were like in the middle of each other, like a pyramid kind of thing, and or they didn't keep them together afterwards. They didn't glue them together before or afterwards, to my knowledge. So this is going to be pretty cool, I think. Certainly unique, if not, or maybe not. I'm not 100% sure, but whatever, doesn't matter. I'm looking forward to doing it, having just a bit of fun with this. Just a little bit more, and then I'm going to take my little handy torch and blow out any bubbles. air bubbles, and then we'll mix up the rest of the paints. Okay, I think everywhere's got some coverage now. Let's get this corner actually a bit more. Okay. I did put some plastic under this pea pad anyways just to catch runoff, because who knows, I might make some skins or something with them. So there's my colors, the aqua green, the light magenta, and the turquoise. And I just again use Artist Loft silicone oil. So I'm just going to put about 3 drops in each. I don't measure, probably should, these things, but I don't know, I just do it and just see what happens. And if it works out well, then usually I remember what I did and I'm okay to to go ahead and do it again in another way. So let me just use my little butane torch here to get rid of any air bubbles. It's probably lots because I shook the paints up a little earlier before I did this. So let's just get rid of the air bubbles. Oops, don't want to burn the plastic. All right, so let me just give these paints a stir, and then I just realized I ran out of stir sticks, so I'm just going to use these. They're dirty but dry, so they're not going to mix paint in. Just going to give these a stir to get that oil mixed, and then I'm going to pour them into my lovely jug along with a little bit of water, sorry, a little bit of white paint in layers, and then I'll start pouring. So 1 more minute and we'll get this going. Almost dipped that in the pink. Oopsie. All right, hopefully you can see me doing this. I better remember to keep things in frame. Well, you should see my camera is taped with painting tape to the tripod base because I don't have right this moment a adapter thing to put on my what's the word I'm looking for? The yeah, you know, that thing. Yeah, camera holder thing, tripod. There we go. Okay, so those should be okay now. All right, so I think I'm gonna put start with the blue. I think I'm gonna start pouring that in there. I'm using my bigger measuring cup that I use for this. I probably don't need this big a cup, but I wasn't sure how much paint I was going to use because I have not measured. I have not done any math to figure out how much paint I actually need for this project. I'm one of those ones who kind of just like, yeah, this looks like a good amount, and I go with it. Very rarely have I usually end up with more paint than I need, so very rarely have I had to add paint to anything. In fact, I don't think I had it all, so I'm okay with that. All right, I'm gonna put a bit of white in here now. Okay, we'll go back to the colors. Probably gonna have way too much paint, but that's all right. I'll just save it and use it for another project. I try not to waste any paint, which I'm sure most of you don't. I think all of you don't. I don't know, but I try not to waste any paint. I'm not going to worry about cleaning that out perfectly because I'm not going to be using it all. I can scrape it and use it for something else too. So here we go, a bit more pink, or light magenta as it's formally called. Okay, and then the aqua green, last one. And then I'm going to add a bit more white, not too much, just a bit. Okay, so let that sit for a second, get my paints out of the way, so I don't have anything worries about knocking anything over. Okay, are we ready to pour? So now I'm just gonna lift this up to put my little props underneath. Okay, still keeping within the frame. Everybody should be able to see everything there. All right. If anyone's curious about the gloves I'm wearing, because I did go through a whole box of the vinyl gloves I bought at the drugstore, you know, first aid gloves, and it's like I don't want to keep wasting like that, but I did find that dishwashing gloves are not tight enough for me, and I don't feel like I can feel what I need to feel or do things with dexterity. So these are actually hair coloring gloves that I bought months ago because I used to color my hair regularly. I just haven't for a while, and they are reusable, obviously. So yeah, I just keep reusing them. I wash them off as soon as I'm done, and then just take them off and let them drip over the sink and dry. So here we go. So I am gonna actually turn this around so that I can pour downwards, which will actually give you guys a better view probably, just because I want to be able to see where I'm pouring from the top here. So let's just do that. Okay, still should be in frame for you guys. I marked where it would be. Okay, let's do this. I'm pretty excited, nervous too, because I'm recording it. So, all right, here we go. I'm pouring over the sides just a little bit to get it flowing, but my main objective is to just continue down the center. That aqua is sure coming out. I'll move down a little bit just because there's a lot of runoff already at the top here that you guys can't see. And yeah, I'm just kind of doing this little swirly thing. Don't know if it's going to make any difference in the long run. I think it's when you're doing a ring pour, if I remember correctly the term, but I'm not looking to have it finish looking like a ring pour, so. And yep, I'm just kind of pouring the paint all over just to get it going different places, and then I'll start tilting it. That's going to be awkward and fun. Okay, there we go. All right, interesting look so far. I do want some negative space, so perhaps I shouldn't have done those squiggles, but let's just see what happens there. We definitely have a lot of runoff. So I'm just going to actually pick that up and let it run towards the side there. And then I can just get that front all covered. It looks really cool running down the back of the paints here, but I'm just going to finger pop them, as Jelly Coob calls them, just to make sure they're all covered here at the sides, or at least at this back end. I'm not sure if I'm worried about the sides over here and over here yet. We'll just see what happens. Okay, let's have a look here. I'm actually not sure if I want to pour this too much, or tilt this, I mean, too much, but we'll do a little bit, see what happens. Because like I said, I do want some negative space. Okay, so pour back a little bit this way. Mostly I just want to cover up that squiggle I made with the paint, because I realized I don't actually like it down at the bottom corner over there. So let me just cover that up a little bit. And then coming back. Okay, and I'm just going to come back this way. I'm not sure what that will create, but let's see what happens there. I am tipping it upside down because I want to get the edges covered without finger popping it on the corners, if at all possible, because I don't want the finger popping on those particular corners. But it's creating interesting looks. You can hear the paint dripping off. Okay, let's just let that sit for a second. Just gonna get that to run there. Okay, so I'm just gonna get those corners done there that I want. Okay, so let's see if I need to. I'm just gonna pause there for a second. I'm gonna turn it around so I can see it from the other angle to see what I might want to do next, if anything. I did tape the back of this, although I have a feeling that that's not going to make much difference at this point in time because I'm tilting it upside down and right side up and everything else. Whoa, almost dropped it there. That wouldn't be good. Okay, where are my little pods? Okay, let's just see what happens there for a second as I wipe myself off. I think I'm just gonna, before I do that, I'm just gonna tilt a little bit more actually. Pretty cool. I've got the one side here that isn't getting as much coverage, so I'm going to try and that's the trouble. I'm going to see if I can get a bit more paint to come out of there just to cover up that edge. And then I'll let it sit for a bit, a few minutes or a minute, and then I'll do a little bit of torching. Okay, let's let that run down. I think elsewhere is good for coverage. Yeah, there's some white spots, but I'm okay with that because it is white paint and I don't want everything to look the same, because if I touch this too much, I'm definitely going to get just blobs instead of clear lines of paint or clear definition of the colors like I'm trying to get here on this side. But I'm liking it. It's pretty awesome. All right, let's see. Just going to spread this a little bit. Okay. Not 100% happy with the way the colors blended there, but let me just go wash my hands and be right back. Okay, let's do a little bit of torching. See if we can get any kind of cells at all to come up. Lots of air bubbles right now, so we're going to let those settle. In the meantime, I'll get this out of the way. Scrape that out after I'm done here. So let me just turn this around for you. Oh, now the cells are coming out. Awesome. Okay, let me just turn this around again so you guys can see it from the downward angle. Glad I put this plastic down, that's for sure. Okay. Turn this around for you. I don't know if you can see that actually there. I'm not sure if that's actually too close. I have no idea if my camera is still running or if it's able to even focus on this when I'm moving it around like this. But hopefully you can see that. It's pretty interesting. I'd like a little bit more white there, and sometimes I might just add a little tiny bit. I tend to do this with my paintings and I don't see something I don't like. But nope, I'm going to resist for a minute and just see what that looks like after another minute. I do like a little bit of white here and here and here, so I would like more there because, I don't know, I like things balanced. But not everything is always balanced, and I'm afraid if I just add some white, it's going to actually ruin it, unless I can just put tiny, should I? I don't know, tiny little stream of it in a couple spots. Let's see if I can do it with this. Alright, just do a little bit more down this side. I think I'll just do this one and spread it a little bit. Okay, let's try spreading this around a bit, just to give it some, so it doesn't look like just squiggles running through there. And if it does, I'm okay with that. I don't know, what do you guys think? I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments if I'm able to upload this the way I want to. Never done that either, but it seems that I can do that on Facebook. If not, I do have a YouTube channel which I have never put any videos on. This is my first ever video. So let's just see what happens here. Yeah, I like that addition of the white actually. Maybe I'll do a little bit more on this side. Just a tiny bit. Just that little bit. Oh, maybe a little bit right down there. Okay, let's just spread this out and then that's it. Maybe get another torch and then I'm done. It's one thing I've been learning definitely since I started. I've only been doing this since October, maybe middle of October. And I actually started painting because I found that through the summer and into the fall that I realized that I was actually very, very depressed. Never been like that before in my life. Not that I haven't had down moments in my life, but I think some of you or most of you can probably relate to what I'm saying. Anyways, and it's like, okay, I need to find a creative outlet. And I've been looking at these types of videos for ages already. And it's like, okay, I need to just start this. I already had some paints and even some canvases, although they were big ones. So I went and bought some smaller ones to start at Michael's, and actually at the dollar store. I've gotten a number of my canvases from the dollar store, And yeah, they might not be the highest quality or anything like that, but I'm strictly doing this for my mental health, not for any other reason. I do get excited sharing the things with the two groups there. Um, Julie Cuts Pouring Your Heart Out and the Acrylic Pouring for Fun group. And I do share on Instagram too. But yeah, I am doing it though. It's because I like to share my excitement about something, not because I'm looking for, people to follow me or likes or anything like that. So, yeah. Anyways, just doing it for my mental health, and I'm only recording this one because so many people asked, and I also thought it would be cool to do that myself. Okay, I'm done touching this. I'm just going to give it another little torch, and then we are done. So I hope everybody's excited to see what I've done here. And yeah, and then in a few days or so, after Christmas probably, because it is the 22nd, and I've got plans here and there for the next few days, including still have to work a day and a half out of all this. But anyways, it's all good. Okay, there we go. I think I am done. I'm pretty excited. Thanks for watching.